There will be no test.
There will be no test.
There will be no test. Okay.
In your home, we're in your head. Lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV. Turn off your mind.
Since I was interrupted, there will be no fucking test.
You always give me shit for not doing it right away, so I did it right away.
That's not what I say. I say you do it at bad times. It's just different.
And
Which this time was a bad time.
or was it funny?
Or was it good?
Yeah. Well,
All right.
let us know.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome.
This one's easy. We just recorded the last episode.
Now you're telling them our secrets.
Yeah, that's fine. So we know what the last episode was.
Lollipop
I was going to say, we are Soul of a Gamer.
Yeah, Soul of a Gamer.
I'm Scott.
I'm Steven.
Every week we come at you with a new game.
Boom, boom, boom.
Last week's game was...
Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, we really enjoyed Lollipop
so much
Chainsaw.
fun.
That one was so much fun. And this week's game is...
Paradise Killer.
This game I had never fucking heard of before.
I only had heard about it because it had a shit ton of awesome reviews on Steam.
Really?
And then I saw it came to Game Pass, and a lot of people were giving it good reviews then too. And it's a highly reviewed game.
Yeah, and it's good. I really enjoyed this game, so I'm
it's
excited
very
to talk
unique.
about it.
So
I
this
guess
is
you wanna-
probably the best detective game I've played.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think, you know what I thought of when I was playing this?
What's that?
Really fast. If you remember in Knights of the Old Republic, that whole part where you're...
Oh, the trial?
The trial, the investigation on the two people and the murdered guy. I'm like, that's that in a full game.
Yeah.
That is what that is. That
Pretty
is
much.
literally that in a full
And I
fucking
love
game.
that part of Coder.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts
I think everybody
of Coder.
loves that part because it's so...
That's a good explanation
Yeah,
for this,
like
actually.
literally, that's what I thought of the entire. I'm like, this is literally just this fucking
Yeah.
thing in this game. All right, well, let's get right into it with
What's on the box?
what's on the box.
Well, this is kind of cheating because there wasn't actually ever any box that came
This is
with
bullshit.
it. Because it was a
This
digital.
is bullshit. You're bullshit.
This is a digital game, which.
So yeah, we're in like a review kind of deal.
So I just went to the IMDb synopsis and I was just going to read
Alright,
that because I
that's fair.
felt that was the most fair explanation of it.
Yeah.
So, Paradise Island, a world outside reality. There's been a murder that only investigation freak Lady Love Eyes can solve. Gather evidence and interrogate suspects in this open world adventure. You can accuse anyone, but you'll have to prove your case in a trial to convict. It is up to you to decide who's guilty.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna use this segment to talk about some achievements too, since
Okay.
there's not a lot on the box.
Yeah.
So one of the achievements is do the game in under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder if you just like do the opening because the trial took a long time. But that's all
You
trial.
pretty much just do the opening and then go straight to the judge.
Yeah, and then because you have to go to the judge anyway, do the opening, jump to the judge as fast as you can, and just accuse someone, and then Henry, I assume, gets executed, and then you're done. So
Yep.
I think I'm gonna try doing that tonight and see if I can get that last
Yeah.
achievement. It can't be that hard. It says do it in under 10 minutes, so it should take me under 10 minutes.
Honestly, I think it would
Yeah.
because, like, if you ever went to the judge without evidence of one of the, so it only, there's I think what is there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different things that you can convict people for.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have any notes for one of those things you would
It
convict
wouldn't.
him for,
Yeah, because
it
it
wouldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, because you're the one giving her that information. Like,
Yes.
To do the murder of KHX, you have to find his body and
Yeah.
put it up there. And
So, like, for me, one of the times I didn't go with any information on the third seal, and we talked about the second seal, and then the judge was like, oh, you have no information on the third seal? Bad investigator. All right, let's move on.
shit investigation. Way
So,
to go.
I'm guessing that's probably what he would do
You
if
don't
he
know
just
the
went right to
third
him.
seal?
I didn't at that point, the first time I went and saw the judge, because I wanted to see what it would be like just to
Yeah.
go to the judge.
All right, well, yeah, so that achievement sounded cool. Some of the achievements were really funny. I don't know if you looked at the names, but
I
they're
did.
like the drinking one. It's like, finally, an achievement I can admire, or something like that. Like, they were fun. They were funny achievements. I really had a good time with it.
Yeah.
They're easy, too. They're not, like, impossible
Yeah,
achievements.
most of these are really easy. Because it's probably a good game to, like, besides just finding all the collectibles, that takes probably the most amount of time. But
No, that did, like, maybe 2 hours at
Yeah.
the most. And after you get the power to see them all,
yeah.
2 hours, for sure.
Which I gotta say, in these style of games, this is one of those style of games where you just need to do everything, buy everything, do everything, get every upgrade. Because like I didn't know about the foot baths until I talked to you.
Yeah, I didn't know about them until I randomly. So literally, it's the funniest thing. I grabbed this fucking item, right?
Yeah.
And it's a foot bath coupon because I had found them early on, but I'm like, I'm not going to spend 5 blood crystals
that's exactly
on this
what
shit.
I thought. I was like, what? Who cares about a foot bath?
Yeah, like
It's probably just nothing.
And at that point, it's the beginning of the game, and you're like, because one of them is like literally next to the courthouse.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not going to waste my blood crystals. I don't have a lot right now. And I find this coupon. I'm like, okay, I can go get a free foot bath. That's sweet. And then you go there, and it's like, the coupon's actually just something we put out there. You're not allowed to use it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess I'll spend the 5 fucking crystals then. I was pissed.
Oh.
And then after it happened, you get double jump. I'm like, no fucking way. God, fuck me. And then I looked at the achievements, because I know that's one of the achievements.
Yeah.
I was like, how many foot bats are there? 33%? There's 3. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to find the other 2 really fast.
I guess, do we want to go into Are We Jammin'?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are we jammin'?
The music in this game is very okay.
Yeah, like some of it's good,
It's
some
good
of it's
for-
kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's good for the ambiance. The sounds, I fucking hated when you're close to an item, it starts doing the little
The static,
staticky.
yeah.
I fucking hate that. Don't do that.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I think that was your clue that there's an item nearby.
Yeah,
which
that was
makes
your audio
sense,
clip for it.
but
Same with the Sinji, you would hear him like kind of laughing. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Which I get that the audio clue, but once you get the power to see where they are, you don't need those clues anymore.
No, you don't.
You do not. At all. But I guess maybe just because you need the clues. Like, I didn't even notice it until halfway through the game, probably, that's what that sound was coming from.
Yeah.
So it really didn't help me find any items.
Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't know what that sound was until I watched a video of, because I was trying to figure out a way to get into the barracks.
Yeah.
And I watched a video, and they're like, oh, and if you hear this noise, this is what this is. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck you.
Fuck you guys.
One of the things I do like is that you can skip and change songs at any point, which is the D-pad. I
Yep.
thought that was a good touch.
That was a
I was
good-
like, I wish.
All their songs are shit and they sound exactly the same, but
Yeah, they weren't the greatest.
some of them are good. I was like, this one's really pleasing, but it only lasts 45 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
I really wish I could put it on loop.
All right.
But voice acting in this game, they do have voice lines, but they're really
Barely.
they're dumb. Like,
It's just like their name.
no, it's a lot more, and they're all fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah.
So the problem with them that I had is you go into talking to someone, right? And you're just like, hey, how's it going? Like, basically, that's how your attitude is with the line. And you're like,
Oh, yeah.
this is outrageous. And you're like, I just said, hey, how's it going? Why is my character now saying this is outrageous?
Oh,
what the
yeah.
fuck? Why? What? That reaction does not fit what I just fucking said. Like, I don't know why they did that. Like, why they added those random voice lines. And the beginning of a conversation, I get it. Like, maybe you say your name, like, I'm Lady Love Dies. Or
Yeah.
like, it's Crimson Love, darling. Like, something interesting like that. But don't fucking make them say random shit as you're talking to them that is not matching what's on the fucking screen.
That's true.
That
I
was
did notice
really
that.
annoying.
Yeah.
I completely hated their voice acting in this for that.
Dialogue for this.
It's all
pretty-
text
it's all-
to talk.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty interesting though. Like the story is very interesting. I found
yeah.
like at first I wasn't really vibing with this game, but the more I played it, the more I got into it.
Yeah.
The more I figured out, the more I got
Oh, yeah,
into
it's,
it.
and what it is, and we'll get into how does it play, what my interpretation of that was.
Oh,
Because
okay.
in the beginning, I was the same way. I was like, this game fucking sucks.
Yeah.
This is shit.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that a little bit later. Talking to characters in this game is weird.
Yeah.
It's like nobody is taking the investigation seriously.
no.
Like, not a single person is worried about the investigation or the fact that I am finding... Like, I'll go up to someone and be like, I found this ring in somebody's dead hand that belongs to you. He's like, oh, yeah, someone must have found it and put it there.
Yeah.
Planted evidence, bro. And everybody did that.
Well, and everybody just wanted to get to the next island.
Yeah, they're like, Lady Love Dies is a fucking idiot. She's just a fucking moron. And they all said that to you, too.
Yeah. Well, and you've been exiled for 3 million days.
Which is 8,000 years, by the way.
I didn't do the math on it, but I was like, holy shit.
how long is that?
And it's kind of crazy, like, all the things, like, just the exile length. Like, all these people, they're all, like, kind of gods, or they are gods.
No, it's the reality drive. I think they're all
Yeah.
kind of like downloaded people.
Well, they talked about, like,
Being
kind
able
of
to-
being, like, higher beings, but, like, they're also seeking other gods and trying to pull other, like, gods and demons.
So no, they're all human. That's the weird part. Is everyone in the story is a human.
Well, the the random people are.
Yeah, no, everyone is, because remember, what's his name? Eyes, whatever, had the kid.
But he also was...
Henry. Henry's his son.
Yeah, but he was also part council member.
Council members are the same.
No, because they would kill all the humans every time they would go to a new island, and then grab more humans from the human world.
Yeah, I think they're all... Remember, they were all born in the human world, because they all say, like...
Well, yeah, they were from, like, Turkey in, like, 900 AD or whatever.
Kind of. I think the AD was a weird... I think they were, like, discounting what time actually was going. Like, this is a completely fictional world.
Yeah.
I think they're all humans, and they're in some kind of downloaded world, which would make sense why everyone's, like, kind of flat.
I don't think they're human.
Because, like, they look like downloaded things, but the humans look kind of normal, if you remember Henry.
I think they're humanoids, but I don't think they're
I don't
humans.
know. It's hard to tell. But they can have babies with humans.
Yes.
So...
But if they're humanoid...
And then they have
things.
human kids. The only difference is, like, I know that you're talking about is the council blood in the council chambers.
Yeah.
But that's just because those members of the council are there. If they could have just said human blood, and then everyone could get in there. But I think they're humans still. I just think they gave themselves more power in this world because they can change reality with whatever that drive is.
Yeah, they are different than the normal humans
that are there right now.
There for sacrificial purposes.
I think if they went to the human world, they would just be regular humans again.
Maybe.
I think. It seems like that at least. But yeah, I mean, it's just... It's weird the way they react at things. Like, I don't quite understand why they react the way they do. Like, it's like they don't take anything you do seriously.
Well, and it's like most of them, besides some of the people that you were friendly with before you were exiled, just hated your guts.
Are shit to you, too.
Yeah,
like, they're really mean. They're like, why would you be this mean? I'm investigating a murder and you're a suspect. If you were nice, maybe I'd let you go.
Yeah, well, it's because they're just like, we don't need you here to investigate. We already have this case solved. Go fuck yourself. Why the fuck are you here?
But by doing that, when someone's investigating, you're like, go fuck yourself. And you're like, all right, you're definitely guilty whether I find evidence or not.
Yeah. Which one of the things that I absolutely loved was it, like, one of the things that everyone says with this, and like the whole point I think of this game was it depends on how much you value punishment and the truth. And the game points out the saying that the facts and truth are not the same, and the truth can be constructed, so you can construct your own truth.
Yeah. And
like the judge, when you go to the trial, he even kind of says something to that same effect of, you are the one bringing the truth into here.
Yeah.
You have the truth be whatever you want it to be, or whatever you need it to be. You can keep looking for more clues, or you can say, this is exactly fact, this is true. And it kind of just pokes fun probably at our legal system for how shitty it is.
True. All right, well, let's move on to...
How does it play?
In the beginning of this, it plays like shit.
Yes,
it really. There's
hardcore agree.
Literally 3 buttons. You fucking jump, you sprint, and you interact, and that's it. Like, it's just so boring, and it's like a pseudo platformer of sorts.
Yeah.
You have to find shit and pick up stuff that are either clues or just random shit on the map that,
or just collectibles.
Yeah, that have nothing to do with anything. Some like mini quests that you can do for ghosts and stuff, like
which aren't important to the story, but are
no,
good
some
for
of them
achievements. There's like 2 I think that are important to the story.
You have to hang out with people and stuff. Like the footbats were the only, like, if they would have explained what the footbats did in the beginning, I think this game would have been so much more fun in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
because you get the double jump from the first one that I found. The second one I found, I got the eye thing, and the third one I found, you get a dash when you're in air. So, and the dash and the double jump changed the way I fucking do
I actually
everything.
never found the double jump. I only found the dash and air. That was actually the first one that I found.
Yeah, that one's in front of the apartment buildings.
And then what was the other one that I found? What was it? Double jump, dash, and
you can see hidden items.
Oh yeah, the meditate.
And the meditate was in a corner, kind of going up a ramp. Yeah, that one was the most hidden, I think, because that's like the most weird spot to find something. That one was the most useful for sure. Right after I found that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop everything else I'm doing and get all the items.
I thought about it, but I was like, I just kind of want to get through this game. It's
it really helped because it made me go to places I wouldn't have normally gone to, and I found like the tire tracks in some places that proved Lydia was doing some stuff. I found items that helped with the case. Like I found something in it. I ended up finding this like knife. So if you remember, you have these notes, and like on the notes it says, "Hey, you know, maybe I should go check the crime scene again." I'm like, I've already fucking scoured that crime scene.
But you have to go underneath the crime scene.
Yeah, so that was one part of it. But the part I'm on top of the building where the Rappel and the tire tracks are, and I'm like, so what the fuck do I do? And I'm looking around thinking like there's a hidden item somewhere, so I activate meditate. And this is after I collected all the items. I just thought I missed something. And I look down, I'm like, there's something shining down there, but it's not my meditate thing. It's just shining.
Yeah.
And if you look down, you can see Lydia's knife.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Oh, this is bullshit. Why doesn't it fucking show up on the goddamn thing?
I actually found Lydia's knife pretty early on.
Yeah, I didn't go down there right away. And after I found Lydia's knife, luckily I went around the correct way to find the blood vial.
Yeah.
Because if I went around the other way, I would not have seen the blood vial.
I am so glad this game has no fall damage.
Yeah.
Like, you do not have to worry about any enemies or anything
Just
whatsoever
if you're
at
stabbed
all.
or shot or you know, like you take normal damage from stabbings or shootings, but you know, falling from great distances you don't for some reason.
Well, lore-wise for this, yes, but like in the gameplay itself, there is no shooting, there is no stabbing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
shooting. You shoot at the end. You shoot someone. You kill them.
Yes.
Like, it's just
I'm
weird.
saying while you're playing the game, you don't have to worry about anything.
It's just weird
You're
that they
confusing them.
it's weird that they did this whole thing where they're like, yeah, we're not going to have you take any damage from like punches or falling or like anything really. We're not going to have you feel unsafe during the game. But just know that at any given point, you could probably be stabbed to death because people were stabbed to death and, you know, ripped apart. And people died.
Yeah.
And it's just weird that they just decided, all right, no fall damage though.
I liked that though because
I liked
it
too.
made the
It's
exploration way better. And
It
like
did.
there's so many things that I wouldn't have probably found if I knew, like, knowing that there wasn't fall damage. Like that's one of the things I always try to test out right away. And that's actually how I found Lydia's knife right away. Is I just was like, I wonder what happens if I jump off of this.
Yeah.
I jumped off, didn't take any damage, didn't die or anything. I was like, oh shit, there's a vial of blood that has all the council members' blood in it, and Lydia's knife. What the fuck?
Free shit.
Yeah, and I was like, oh cool.
Free blood. This is sweet. I can drink this later.
Yeah.
Until you find the footpaths, though, gameplay is shit in this game. It's really bad.
It really is.
Like, it's terrible. It's hard to move around. Like, you feel sluggish.
And like before you get a lot of the fast travel points and stuff too, it's kind of it's the more you go around this map, the more you like know where everything's at. But at first, it's like hard to figure out how to get to places because like on the map, it'll be like, all right, so if I go right here, I will run into that, and then it won't be there, and like it'll show you like, especially for me, like trying to find the syndicate graveyard was one of the hardest things for me.
Oh, really? That was the first thing I found.
That was like the last thing that I found because I never went back up right at the beginning past the judge, and I
thought
didn't
that's
even,
what you were supposed to do.
I didn't even think about that. So I explored like the whole island, and like on the map it looks like it's next to the farm.
Yeah.
And you go from the farm and take a right, and it looks like you end up at the syndicate place, but it ended up at the beach.
Yeah,
and
what they should have done is
how?
made the map so it was 3D.
Yes.
Because they at least give it a 2D, 3D option so you
Yes.
can pick which option you're looking at.
To see like height differences and stuff, or
'cause
be able to like pinpoint it, or if you like were able to make like a beacon point that you could see on the map.
Yeah. And I mean, it's weird that they put like hot points on the map, but those hot points didn't always have travel things. Like, I don't know how much you use the fast travel, but I was
used it
using
pretty
it
bit.
all
A
the
lot,
time.
actually.
I had all the blood crystals at the end, so I'm like, I'm just gonna start spending these.
Which I like. You can get blood crystals like no other in this game. So,
but it doesn't feel like that unless you have the fucking thing to find them.
Well, which I didn't even use meditate a lot, but I used it. I just
all
explored a lot, and I just found a ton. Like, there's so many areas where, like, especially around like the apartment buildings, you'll like go up each floor, and each floor has a blood crystal, and then on the roof they have blood crystals, and then the random spots, and then like random spots behind each gate there's a blood crystal, and I was like, geez, there's just blood crystals everywhere.
Yep. This game does have a little like quest icon to tell you what to do, which is nice. Like, and when you do that, accomplish that thing, it takes it off the quest.
Yeah.
That was really useful because once I had nothing on my notes left, I was like, okay, I know I'm ready for the trial.
I loved how everything auto sorted for you in the menu systems for the Starlight, and I thought that was just brilliant, honestly, because like it filtering through everything and telling you what clues this was for and what person it was dealing with was like so amazing.
So good. There's hacking in this game that you can do. It's kind of... It was
weird.
okay. It was better than most hacking that I've had to do in other games. Like, it wasn't hard. That's not the point of it. It's not supposed to be like a difficult thing. It's just supposed to take up like a few seconds of your time.
And the weirdest one was the worshiper.
Yeah, I hated those ones.
I hated that.
Their lines are just weird.
Yeah. But like the Cosmo one's really easy. The Pyramid one was super easy. And
Goat one can be challenging sometimes.
It was a little challenging at first, but then once you like know how to do all those things, it's the same every time. So you can just boop, 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 boop.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, it's not like it's a big hindrance in the game. It only takes a few seconds, maybe a minute at most.
Yeah, I'd probably say that it probably wasn't until I was like 2 or 3 hours into this game that I like really hardcore got into this game.
Yeah, and I think if you would have had the double jump right away, you would have got into it right away. Because as soon as I got double jump, I'm like, this is so much more fun now.
Well, and it was kind of funny.
I can access things I haven't accessed yet.
One of the times I was playing it, I paused the game so we could take our dog out for a walk, and then while we were walking, Jen was like kind of asking me about the game, and I was like kind of telling her like, I think this person's involved, and I was like talking to her the story, and I was like, I didn't realize how much of this story I kept in my mind.
Yep.
Like, holy shit, like this stuck with me.
Steven, I had the whole thing solved within an hour. After talking to every character, I was like, okay, I get it now.
I don't think I had everything solved because I didn't find one of the characters we'll talk about in the story until late in the game.
Which one? One Last Kiss?
Danian Gate.
Oh, the murderer, kind of?
Yeah, well...
pseudo-murderer?
Carmelina's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't find him till, like, after the first time I did the trial.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, because I did the trial, like, I thought I had it figured out at a point, and I went to go do the trial, and then during the trial... you got people to confess to other things, and I was like, oh shit, there's something big that I missed.
Yeah.
And so I went back into the game and did a lot more, and that's when I figured out everything for sure. But I knew pretty much right away who the two main bad people were and 2 other people that were involved.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how exactly they were involved and everything, and then I had enough evidence to get some of them down, but I couldn't. I knew like Henry didn't actually do anything, and
yeah, that was pretty obvious.
Yeah,
I basically knew the entire thing within an hour of talking to all the characters. Like all of them, it was so easy to tell. Like, okay, Akiko is an asshole.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. But we'll get into that into the story. So gameplay is pretty much done. So let's move on.
It's story time. Let's get started.
Story's huge.
Yeah.
It's giant. We won't go over the entire, like, what each character means to you.
Yeah.
But basically, you're an investigator who has spent 3 million days in
isolation
because a god tried to trick you into opening up the syndicate to them.
Yeah, and you ended up like being controlled by them slightly.
Yeah.
But like you're a victim, but nobody saw you as a victim.
Yeah, so when you get controlled by gods, it's because you actively sought them out too.
Yeah.
So they trick you, and then you're like, it almost feels like you're in a computer, but you're in like a real world, but you're not in the real world because people keep saying like, I want to get out to the real world.
Yeah.
When you talk to them, it gets weird. Like it's very up in the air. But 3 million days, you're called down because the entire council that controls the syndicate has been murdered. Although there's no proof besides that their blood is found in someone's stomach.
Yeah.
A really weird point of. I'm like, so no one went in to check. Well, we can't get in there. I'm like, but all of you know how. So go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
well, they didn't know how.
Yeah, but
wink,
they did.
wink.
But they know the council's been murdered because they find their blood inside this guy's stomach who's a citizen. The citizens are people they kidnap from the real world to be their workers.
Yeah, and then they ended up sacrificing them to their...
At the end of each island sequence, they sacrifice all the citizens. And in this sequence, there was 3,102, I think it said.
And this is the 24th sequence, the 24th island, and they were pushing everybody to the 25th island. They've already sacrificed most of the humans.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them except for Henry.
Yeah, they weren't going to sacrifice him. They were just going to execute him.
Yeah, exactly. And then they had moved, I think, 6 of the council members before the other ones were killed.
Yeah.
And a few other people, and like other people were getting ready to go to that island, but then the judge shut down all transportation to the next island to try to solve this crime.
Yeah. So It's kind of weird, too. It doesn't really explain how many syndicate members there are.
No, like if you go into your Starlight, which
Also, this is why they are human. This is how we know. Remember, Yuri was a citizen who became a syndicate member.
yes, but I that's why I said like syndicate members might have been human, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're human anymore.
That's why I think it's a big computer thing. I think they give themselves better access in this computer thing than they give the humans. Because they're also like better looking and everything. I think like they're taller too. If you notice that with going up to a door, you're like, why is the door so
Right.
fucking short? So it gets weird. Yeah, the story basically you're an investigator investigating this crime, and you have to go through a shit ton to find out who did it. And the who did it is basically everybody's involved in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Whether indirectly or directly.
Which I actually had a moment like partway through this game, a few hours into this game, where I was like, I bet this is going to be what's the name of that movie? Or Murder on the Orient Express kind of story.
When it comes down to it, it's Clue. That's what it is.
Well, I thought it was like, I don't know if you ever saw Murder on the Orient Express. But
I
like,
mean, that's just based on a really old tale. That's what
Well,
Clue
yes.
is based on.
But Clue isn't everyone's a killer or everyone's involved. Clue, you're trying to figure out the one killer who's
Yeah,
involved.
yeah.
Whereas Murder on the Orient Express, everyone was involved with the murder.
Yeah.
And that's why it took him so long to figure out who the murder was, because everyone was
Yeah.
involved. And I kind of liked that, because that's not something you get a lot of times.
Oh,
And
that's the most common murder trope in any video. That's even in Knights of the Old Republic. Both people were involved in the murder. Like, it's actually the most common because it's a popular one. Like, it's based on a story.
Yeah.
Like, the Murder on the Orient Express is a actual book.
Yeah.
And that's what they base everything on, basically, now. And that was based on something else, too. So it's all based on something, which is cool. That's a really cool thing in some of these games. Because in this one especially, the investigation matters so
Yes.
fucking much for who you bring.
Which, yeah, you can go to the judge at any point throughout this game
and just
with any amount of evidence, and you can say who you think the killer is,
Yeah.
and if you get a conviction, you get a conviction. And that's one of the things that I think is really cool about this game, is if you think you've got the story figured out and you're completely content with what you found, you can just say, all right, I'm done, and end. And that's just the end. And it doesn't tell you at all if you got a good ending or a true ending or a bad ending.
Yeah, there is no real true ending to this
I
game.
think there's a special Shinji ending.
Shinji?
Like if you find all the Shinjis and talk to all the Shinjis, I think
I keep
there's
saying Sinjis. Shinji.
Shinji. Sorry.
Shinji. They have shins. Yeah, I mean, I had a Shinji talk to me at the end.
Okay, I don't think I had him talk to me at the end, so.
I'm pretty sure I did. Although I didn't know. I wonder if I killed everyone now. Because after the trial, you can choose to go talk to them again. Mm-hmm. And if you talk to them, you can have them go to the next island or be exiled.
Yeah, I think there is a genocide ending if you kill everybody,
Oh, interesting.
too.
So, and I'm curious now, did I not... Should I have went up to the two people who survived and told them, hey, go to the next island? I thought that was just... They knew they could do that.
You can, yeah, because once you end and you go through the trial, you can explore the island more. You can get all the rest of the collectibles.
Yeah,
if you
but
want,
I mean, what I
and
mean
you
is,
can-
like, do they automatically go if you don't talk to them?
I don't know.
Because I already did that everything, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the next island.
Yeah, because
Everyone.
I just went to the island too.
I wonder if they all get into the pile into the car with you.
I don't know. So the Syndicate are a group of immortal worshippers of dead alien gods. So they are immortal worshippers.
Yeah, we know they're immortal because they live 8,000 years.
Yeah.
Also, between the 13th iteration of the island and the 24th is when those 8,000 years went by.
Yeah.
So you got to imagine at least like 10,000 years went by before that.
Yeah.
So
But
the island, learning about the history of all the islands too was pretty cool. Like some of them, one of them, the mountain fell. One of them, the demons got in and invaded. One
a
of
lot
them,
of times it's the demons
yeah,
getting through.
Yeah, well, every time it's the demons getting through, and then sometimes there's other things that happen around
Yeah.
that, which was cool. I thought that was really an interesting thing.
So I guess do we want to leave it up to them to play this
Yeah,
game?
we won't
or
go into too much of the story of the characters' backgrounds.
Okay.
I want to hear what you got.
what I got, like as far as like
Yeah.
what I had for convictions.
Yes.
Okay. So I wrote down my first
We'll go
one
through
and
it
my second
each
one.
crime at a time.
Okay, so we'll go Henry's escape.
So did Henry escape the cage he was in? Because we didn't explain this, but he was possessed by demons 10 years before.
Yes.
So he's in what is basically a jail. It's on like an isolated island.
And he has all these inhibitors that don't allow him to like do any movements.
Yeah,
or, like,
because he has a demon inside of him still.
Mm-hmm.
And it supposedly he escaped within the span of, I think it was 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it was like he escaped
it was 11:52.
and then found it 0003.
12:03, yeah.
So 11 minutes. He made it from that isolated island all the way to the mainland, all the way to the council building, got past 4 different like secure locks that no one supposedly knows about.
Yeah.
Killed every council member in there with a knife, and 2 marshals who were guarding them.
Yep.
Came out and passed out in front of it.
And then also drew his demonic symbols that are burned into his flesh on the ground with their blood.
In blood. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
What a bad fucking thing. But that's what they're saying happened.
Yeah.
So that's the truth right now.
So for Henry's escape, obviously, I thought Grand Marshal Akiko was involved
right
with
away.
it.
Right away. Because you're like, how did he push you? He pushed me down. I'm like,
Well,
he pushed you?
And
yeah,
like
he pushed
examining
me.
like the bars that were like pushed out, I was like, it was
Demonic
like,
strength, bro.
Yeah, I was like, well, it was, and like even Starlight's like, this was destroyed with thermite.
Yeah.
Which is a military grade thing, and I was like,
And
oh,
she's the
military,
leader of the
military. So got her convicted for that.
Yeah, as it turned out, what she did was took him into the barracks to hide him, to not, because like they log who goes through certain areas, and Henry didn't go through this one area, so the only way he could go around it was to go through the barracks.
Yeah.
But no one has control of the barracks except for Akiko.
Yeah.
So, and plus all the marshals are there all the time.
Yeah.
So she took him through the barracks to take him up to plant him at the front of the thing to make him the murderer.
Yeah. And then
But she was under orders of someone else to do that. But
Yeah.
we'll keep going through.
Henry's possession is the next one.
Why? How did Henry get possessed, basically?
Yeah. Yuri.
Yuri's a fucking dick.
He is. So Yuri went to the library, got all these demonic books, was pushing these demonic books onto Henry to make him have some sort of demonic thing involved with him, to make him seem like he was going to be, because they were planning for him to be the scapegoat for 10 years.
Yeah, well, and I think they were planning on...
For 25 years or something like that beforehand.
No, I think they were planning it earlier than that, and then things didn't go the way they wanted it.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, if you went... Did you meet One Last Kiss?
Yeah.
Okay, so One Last Kiss gets killed by...
By Henry.
No.
Well, not by Henry, by
Carmelina.
Yeah.
But in there, they planned, if Henry would have killed her, I think that would have made the demon possession worse. I think that was the plan, and then it would cause the shifting of the island right away, rather than 10 years later. I think their plans kind of got messed up, but they still used Henry as a scapegoat 10 years later.
Well, and I think it's kind of funny because there's 2 different plans going on at the same time.
Yeah.
There's 2 different people trying to kill a council at the same time.
Well, one of them didn't really try to kill all the council members. He just wanted them to be afraid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in this case, Yuri is like the assistant to the architect of the islands.
Yeah.
Yuri is the guy who checks out a book from a library, gives it to Henry. Henry uses that to contact demons because he's already like a troubled kid.
Yeah.
And he becomes possessed, and then they have to stop the possession.
Well, and Yuri's probably possessed himself.
Probably, but it doesn't really go into it. He doesn't seem possessed.
Well, because Lydia at one point says that Yuri used to be this scrawny little kid who was really ugly, and all of a sudden, randomly out of nowhere, he was tall and super fit and very charismatic.
If you talk to him
and
about
changed
it,
his
though,
personality.
he says that he was blessed by the god because she likes him, but he thinks that she just wants him to rescue her, and that's it. So he's not really possessed because the possession takes control of like the entirety of the body, but he's more of like what do I want to say, like in favor.
Okay.
Kind of. But he basically, I mean, that to me it's the same as being possessed. I guess.
Are we going over like every aspect of every case, or are we just talking about like?
We're giving them some backstory within the case for who Yuri is, because if you just say like, well, Yuri was guilty, and then we move on to the next one, I mean, who the fuck was Yuri? You know what I mean? So
that's for them to figure out. They should play the game.
Yeah, but Yuri's an assistant, and he's kind of an ass. He's like the worst fucking one. I hated him so much.
Yuri was always the
He's
dick.
such a fucking dick. He's like, hey, freak. He called you a freak, and even when you hang out, like, I love the hangout things in this because it's like relationship increased, and it's like him saying, "Hey, bitch, what the fuck are you doing here? Relationship
Well, and I
increased."
didn't do any of the hangouts for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, well, I don't want to hang out with this.
Well,
fucking
and
asshole.
if you hang out, you can probe them,
Yeah.
and then some of the probes are useful, some of them aren't. You find out information you've already found out.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess on to the next one.
Yeah.
Henry's the whatever is not his fault either. Possession.
Well, yeah, I already said the.
Yeah.
Yuri's-
Well, sorry, I'm
Henry's
saying like
possession.
he's innocent of that too.
So yeah, I got Yuri convicted for that, and then murder of Grace. I had Carmelina,
Yep. Grace was the exorcist who went to.
but for me, I didn't have enough evidence to say fully that it was her. So
I did.
She was not convicted.
She
for that.
was convicted of murder because she like strangled this woman who was trying to exorcise Henry 10 years
Yeah.
prior. He's like, well, we need the demon inside of him, so I'm just gonna fucking strangle this bitch.
Well, and I had like the text message from her to Akiko telling her to like leave the room.
Oh, sorry.
And like some of those other things.
One other thing, by the way, so you're immune to fall damage, but not strangulation. Just why?
Immortal gods can kill immortal gods, but you can't be killed by normal means.
All right, maybe,
motherfucker.
Maybe. It's funny how like simple the killing methods are. You're like, you'd think they'd be. I had to kill him with a knife soaked in the blood of a god.
I mean, it's a god killing a god.
Yeah.
So at that point, I don't think it really matters.
It's just funny. Fucking strangulation. And it's like a clear that
Well, that's why-
indentation was clearly a
That's
ring.
why I was saying the gameplay and what actually happens in
Yeah.
them are totally separate.
They
Do not
really are.
say that they're in the
They're-
same vein.
It's
Like,
pretty funny though. It's really funny.
It doesn't make sense in the actual story of it.
It reminds me of Deadpool. Like every time you jump off something, you're like, "Oh, he's got a superhero land." Just-
So after that was the Holy Seal Marshals, which obviously I knew Akiko replaced them.
yeah. So Akiko, the Grand Marshal, has these marshals who are citizens and not immortals.
Yes.
So she's been trying to push during the entirety of the game. You find out she's trying to push like all her marshals become immortals.
Yeah.
Because she likes them and has sex with them, and she's not supposed to.
Yes.
Oh, fucking whore.
Yeah.
And she fails at that constantly. That's why she's kind of in this plan with all these people. But the first part of the plan is she has to kill her marshals.
Yeah.
But instead, she leaves like a huge fucking evidence trail.
Yeah.
Huge, giant
She grabs
fucking...
random prisoners.
Yeah, and put them in a shed near the fucking building, and they shit in the shed, and you can find their DNA, and they're like, this is the prisoner shit. And you go over and you find out that she replaced the marshals because she'd never kill her marshals.
Yeah.
And then she did shit like, don't examine their bodies because it's uncool,
Yeah.
dog.
Her trying to conceal everything and trying to steal records and get rid of records and stuff. It was pretty freaking obvious throughout the entire game.
What's funny too, anytime you talk to her, she'd be like, I'll kill you. And anytime she's like, what do you want? I'll kill you. Like, it's just
Well, she's always talking in some other language too,
Yeah,
and
she's,
like cussing you out in
I
some
think
other
she's
language.
Polish.
Yeah. So after that was the disappearance of KHX.
Yeah, that one was interesting. So that's one of the first things I found in the game, actually, is I ended up at the workshop because I went all the way up top where the puzzles are.
Yeah.
Because I did that puzzle, and then I went down, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll take this direction next. And I find his workshop, and I find a bunch of hints in there. And then I find the drag marts. And I'm like, why are the drag marts pink?
Yeah.
Like,
show you.
blood is normal red color. And I'm like, is this blood? Holy shit, do they have pink blood?
It's to show you.
I know, to show that the war drag marks. It's just
Yeah.
weird that they're pink. I don't know. They could have made it, like, the color of the
Well,
brown
maybe because
underneath.
they are special, they do have
Maybe.
pink blood. We
But
don't-
if you look down too, like what's funny is I didn't know you could jump off stuff, so I looked down. I'm like, there's an outline of a body down
Yeah.
there. That's really stupid.
Which I think is funny when you go to like you see the pink outline of the body, but then like when you actually like investigate the body, you
There's
actually
no-
see the body.
Yeah, but it's like a flat body.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. That's why I think they're like digital characters too.
Well,
'cause
and
they're
I
all
think that's
flat.
just part of the gameplay. I don't think that's actually part of the lore.
I
I don't
know.
think they're actually flat.
No, because remember when you go up to KHX's body, you say, "Hey, there's his body." Kind of. This world is so weird. It makes everything look strange.
I guess
So
maybe.
it's weird. Like it's like, are they actually flat or are they not flat? I'm
don't
so
know.
confused.
like because obviously like making the game wise would be cheaper to do
Yeah.
everything as 2D characters.
Yeah, but then everything else in the game is 3D, so it's just a little. And I didn't. What I should have done is like gone around Henry to see if he was 3D or 2D. Because we would have known for sure. Because if he's 3D, you're like, oh, the citizens are different completely.
Oh, I guess that's true.
But I didn't do that. Well, actually, I did do that. No, he is flat. Because when he goes into the trial, you can talk to everyone.
Yeah.
And I talked to him, and he was definitely fucking flat.
Okay.
So, yeah, everyone's flat. I don't understand. I don't get that. But
I think you're focusing too much on...
It's just interesting. It was an interesting dynamic for the game, because you're like, everything else looks very normal, but for some reason they chose 2D designs for the characters. There must be a reason for that in the lore, and I just missed it.
Or it's not part of the lore, and like I said, it's just a cheaper way to make the game.
Maybe, but why make everything else...
Because environments are a lot easier to animate than bodies. Maybe.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, the murder of KHX, you don't even know he's murdered. Like, the beginning of this, you just know he's missing.
Missing, yeah.
And no one, I was like, yeah, he's fucking missing. Probably on the next island. I'm like, there's a fucking record, guys.
The only evidence I had was for Crimson. And at first I thought...
What? She's innocent.
I know she's innocent. But the only evidence I had was all for her. Like, I had...
a shit ton for her.
Yeah, I had
a shit ton in this fucking thing.
Yeah, because...
even for Yuri, there's only a little bit. I had all the evidence for Yuri, and there's only a little bit.
See, and I had all the evidence of his death and the ring and all that other stuff, but I didn't know who the ring belonged to, and I never found that out.
Oh.
So for me, that was the one clue that tied him to Yuri.
Yeah.
But I had Crimson as the only one I had evidence for. So obviously I pointed out her, and she was convicted, and I even wrote a note saying, I really don't think it's her. Like, it can't be her.
Yeah.
But it's the only evidence that I had. So I was like, I guess.
Should have just done Henry on that one, too. He's already going to die. He already fucked it up.
Which I do hate. There's one point where it is said that Henry was all innocent to everything in I think it's the 4th or 5th trial.
Yeah.
And during that, I'm like, well, then that first trial that we had where we convicted Henry wrongly, we should go back and change the verdict. And the judge is like, we don't have time. We can't change the verdict.
We don't have time, but you have time to explore the island after we're all done here. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to give you time to have fun, okay, buddy?
Yeah.
It's just, it's stupid. But yeah, KHX, it was Yuri. He tried to pay him off to get the second seal.
Yeah.
And the second seal is the, so the first seal is the Marshal. Second seal is the space domain, so you need a space helmet.
Yep.
And the third seal is a vial of blood. You need council blood, and the fourth seal is the god's flesh.
You need the god's flesh, yeah.
So it's just interesting that KHX basically knew all the seals, but especially the second seal because he built it.
Yeah.
So Yuri goes in and tries to get it from him and tries to pay him off, and he gives him the seal and then says, but I'm going to report you. I'm like, why'd you give him the fucking seal?
Yeah.
Just report him without giving him the seal. Don't tell him you're going to report him. Just go fucking do it.
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with you? So Yuri throws him off a cliff.
Yeah, and I mean, he had similar conversations with Crimson because Crimson wanted to know too. And I did think it was weird that Crimson wanted to know, but she's just a person who loves finding out secrets.
Well, no, remember, she wanted to know because Witness wanted to know.
Oh, that's true too.
And what it was really, and how you knew it wasn't Crimson, it's okay. So even though they're immortal, they're not immortally strong.
Yeah.
So who is strong in this? Who got blessed with strength?
Well, Crimson was the only one I knew that was actually blessed.
No. Yuri is blessed too.
Oh, yeah,
Remember,
I didn't know that though.
Yeah, his blessing is strength and speed or something.
Yes, but I didn't ever find that out.
Yeah.
So for me, the only person I knew who got blessed was Crimson.
Yeah, and I think you only get that from Lydia.
Okay.
So you have to hang out with Lydia in order to probe her for Yuri, because she does not like Yuri. No one likes Yuri.
Which for the longest time, I didn't know where Lydia was, and I kept on thinking you had to talk to her in the car.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I'm like, why the fuck would they make her such an important character?
Second seal, obviously, Yuri. There's the pink petals that tied him to it.
No.
Well, there are the pink petals that tied him to it.
I don't quite understand the pink petal part
They're
of
from
it.
his hat.
No, so what it was, I think, it's actually Lydia and Sam who did all that.
Yuri confessed to it, though.
Yeah. Yuri should not have confessed to it. So what's weird is...
Yuri confessed to all the seals after I...
So what's weird is because Lydia and Sam confessed to opening all the seals to put Witness's killer demon in there.
Oh, I never got anything with Lydia and Sam.
Yeah, so Lydia and Sam are guilty too. I think it just depends. They probably both did it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. There's two different conspiracies going on this entire time.
Yeah.
With two different people trying to get to the council for two different reasons.
Lydia and Sam did it 2 days before this all happened. and I think he opened the seals.
Well, Yuri also did.
Yuri
with
opened the seals for Carmelina to accuse
Henry.
which is weird because none of them went and checked the seals anyway, so I don't understand what the point in that was.
Yeah.
Literally, everyone was like, yeah, we're not going to go check the seals, we just assume they're dead.
Yuri actually confessed to bringing him and Danian Gate through all of the seals.
Yeah.
So I didn't think anything else. And when we got to all the other seals, I was just like, yep, it was Yuri. Yep, it was Yuri, who was already confessed to it.
But Lydia and Sam actually did it too, and I
didn't ever find that.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll skip those other ones then.
So both of those are, both of them are true, right? Yuri did it and they did it, so.
Yeah.
Both of them are guilty?
Again, it's one of those things where you find your own truth in this game. I didn't really care to convict Sam or Lydia.
I know, I like them. I had to convict them, though.
Yeah.
The truth matters!
And then the mystery dead killer demon, obviously.
Witness, Lydia, and Sam.
I just had Witness. And nothing ever tied to Lydia and Sam. I know Lydia and Sam were involved, but I didn't know how.
Yeah, the tire tracks and everything.
Well, and everything with
why are
Sam's
there tire?
bar.
I love it. Why are there tire tracks near the rappel down? I just go up there to look at stuff sometimes. Like, you go up on a roof with your fucking car?
Yeah.
Why'd you leave tire tracks?
Which I never found the tire tracks on the roof, so I wouldn't have known that either.
You didn't find the rappel?
Uh-uh.
There's like a rappel going down to open up into the council building. And that's where you find Shinji, and he's like, yeah, weird how there's tire tracks up here, huh?
I didn't ever seen that.
Yeah. You go up top the council building, find tire tracks, and then Lydia's knife, that's how I saw it below, because I was standing where
and
the
I saw
rappel
Lydia's
is.
knife below, but I didn't ever go on top of the building, so. And then
you find another entrance into the council building up there.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can drop down into it. That's how she got in.
Okay. And then the crime to end all crimes. I obviously...
God, you did not hit a lot of them, did you?
Apparently not.
Oh, there were like a bunch more in between there. Did you skip a bunch?
I skipped third and fourth seal because we already kind of talked about that.
That's true. I'm trying to think. There were more, I think, in there. Because I think the more you found, the more you did.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyway, let's go.
Because like the first time, there was only 5 convictions that I did. And then the second time, there was 12.
All right, well, let's crime to end all crimes.
Danian Gate.
So this one was weird because it could have went 2 different directions.
Yeah.
Because the killer demon killed some. That was obvious.
Yeah.
And then I think all he killed was Montserrat.
Well, no, because Danian Gate did confess to, before he died.
I know, killing all the... Are you talking about the room with all the dead bodies? I killed them. However... If you actually examine the dead bodies, all of it's like, it was killed by a clean blade, more than likely the killer demon, but then Montserrat was the only one who was different. Because, like, one guy had his head nearly cut off.
Well, and so, like, it said that they were all killed by a clean blade, and then when you examine the demon, it said the demon's claws could have been a clean blade.
Yeah.
But then it also said that the weapon that Danian had was also a clean blade.
Yeah,
so it's very up in the air of who you think actually killed all of them.
So I don't think so, if you actually look at the evidence, Steve.
But...
I've already got the theory.
I think that the demon came out, killed several of them. Whatever his name was,
I call him
Monsico or whatever.
Mon, I call him.
Mon killed the demon, and then also shot Danian, and then Danian killed him, and then left.
So what I think happened is the killer demon killed everyone except for Mon.
Oh, okay.
So then Mon killed the killer demon. Didn't expect Dane to be there.
And then shot him.
Shot him. Dane took the shot, ran towards him, slashed his throat, and then ran away.
Yeah.
Because that makes the most sense because he got shot. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you couldn't have done much because you were bleeding a lot when I
Yeah.
found you. So more than likely, he was going in there to kill everyone anyway.
Yeah.
Like either way.
Exactly. And
But-
then obviously... Oh, go ahead.
But like Montserrat would have been the only survivor, which fits into Witness's plan. Because
Yeah.
did you convict Witness in any of this?
For the bringing in the mystery dead killer demon.
Okay, yeah. So the killer demon was definitely Witness.
Yes.
I tried to get everyone I thought was guilty. And
Yeah, I
everything.
did too.
So I ended up killing Witness, Carmelina, Sam, Lydia, Yuri. There's more, right? Akiko. Danian killed himself.
The demon. Well, I mean,
Demon
the
killed
demon's
himself.
already
Yeah,
dead.
I know. It showed the executed at the end. I'm like, why? They're already dead.
Yeah.
Stop fucking saying executed.
So for me, I only executed Akiko, Yuri, Carmelina, I executed
Witness.
Henry and Crimson on accident.
Crimson was the only one I was sure did not do anything. I'm like, you seem like
and
such an
then-
innocent person.
Yeah, so the only ones I didn't convict of anything were Lydia and Sam.
And Doom Jazz.
And Doom Jazz,
Yeah, Dr. Doom Jazz. Love the names in this too, by the way.
Which, if you go to Dr. Doom Jazz after the trial, you see that his yacht's, like, in the ocean sinking.
Really?
And you're like, what the fuck? You're like, why is your yacht sinking? He's like, I always sink my yachts at the end
you
of
can't
every
bring 'em with
island.
you, so.
He's like, it's just possessional things, and we rebuild everything anyway, so might as well just have fun with it.
Right?
And like the waves are like really crashing the city, like the island
Yeah.
hard after the trial and everything too. Like it's interesting viewing the island after the trial a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, so I killed everyone who I think was right to kill. I don't think anyone I killed were innocent.
Yeah.
Crimson was alive, Henry was alive, Doom Jazz was alive, and I think that was it at the end.
Yeah, which is probably better.
I hated doing it to Lydia and Sam. They had no idea what they were doing. They were just
Yeah.
asked by witness to deliver the fucking crate
Yeah.
to the building. But I was like, well, you got to know it's something shitty. Like, why would he be? It's just a joke crate. There's a bunch of sparklers in there. Don't worry.
Well, but he is like kind of one of the upper ones of them.
No, they did it because they were gonna. So they all had a reason. And this is why it was easy to tell who was guilty. Everyone had a reason they wanted to do something.
Yeah.
Like Crimson Love wanted to join the Marshals.
Yeah.
Lydia and Sam wanted to leave. They
Yeah.
wanted to go back to the real world. Akiko wanted her marshals to be immortal. Carmelina wanted to be on the council.
Yep.
Witness wanted them to take the gods more seriously.
Yep.
Like, it just ends up being this whole, like, everybody has a reason to kill the fucking
Yeah.
council because they're a bunch of jackasses.
Exactly.
Carmelina should have been allowed on the council. She did a bunch of good work for them.
Yeah.
Although she should have waited until they got to 25. If they waited a couple of years, it probably would have got on the council.
Yeah.
But it's just weird stuff like that. Yuri was the only one I was like, he's the only one I really want fucking dead. He's the one. I should just accuse him for everything because he's a fucking asshole.
Same with Akiko. I wanted Akiko dead,
Akiko,
too.
as soon as you hang out with her, you're like, she's actually pretty cool.
I hated it.
She's
I
still
never
a
hung out
bitch,
with
but
her
she's
'cause
cool.
She's a bitch.
She just doesn't want you to find the truth.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
Well,
I don't
none
think
of
she
them really
hates
did,
you.
but like I liked Sam and I liked Lydia, so
Yeah.
I didn't really investigate them more. Even though like I knew like Lydia had ties to Witness.
Yeah.
Because like I found that tablet that had
Yeah,
links.
and you find in Sam's little locker
Yeah.
the flesh bud from
Yeah.
the god or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And his like gauntlets or whatever,
I
and
love
like
the
there's all the
gauntlets.
stories about them being assassins. So like they almost were trying to make it seem like they could have been the ones that assassinated the council, but I was like, no, it wasn't them.
Yeah, that would be a lot of work. They do it cleaner.
Yeah.
They wouldn't leave so much evidence.
Exactly.
I don't understand why they left so many tire tracks.
Yeah.
I think nobody knew that the judge was going to bring out investigator. And
That's exactly what
they're
it
like,
was.
we can just futz around with this one.
Because if Judge didn't bring investigator back, everyone would have gotten away with everything.
Yeah, and almost like I wanted them all to get away with it too, because I'm like, there's really no point to
Do the fast ending, and you'll have that happen.
Yeah, well, and it's like why wouldn't you just kill Henry? You're gonna kill him anyway, even though he says release at the end. I think he gets
Yeah.
killed anyway because he's fucking possessed.
Probably.
So what the fuck is the point? I was really hoping you could pick up your gun through the entire game too and just shoot things.
I was kind of hoping that too.
Just love the ending is a little lackluster with it, like dumb bitch executed, and you just shoot them in the face. Bah, 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 bah. Like I am the judge, I am the executioner.
That's pretty much the game.
Yeah, that's the story pretty much. And I mean, the only thing we really skipped is like all the background stories for everyone. But everyone has such a unique background story.
Yeah.
Trying to explain it all would probably take an hour,
If not longer.
if not longer. But
Yeah.
it's just interesting that this game was so good with such a slow beginning.
Yes.
Because the beginning was so fucking slow. We didn't touch on any of the puzzles either. There's like three puzzles.
Yeah, and like
They're not that fun.
They're not that bad. Like especially the one to get to the Syndicate graveyard. That one's really easy.
Yeah, that one you just turn bridges basically until they're all facing the same direction.
One puzzle at like the factory that is just for an achievement. It's not even
Which
for
one?
anything story wise. It's the one where you have to pull that container out.
No, that's not for. No. So you prove that Lydia did something wrong.
Oh well, I never proved Lydia did anything wrong.
Did you get the space helmet?
I had a helmet, but
So what's his face gives you a space helmet?
Yuri or well,
Shinji.
Yeah, Shinji.
Shinji gives you one that Yuri was wearing apparently, that Lydia was wearing. One of the no, I think it was Yuri because
It was Yuri
And
'cause
then
it had
the
the
other one
petals.
you find is it smells like Lydia's perfume. And if you remember in the first part of the game, Lydia's like, I make my own perfume. It's a very unique, special
yeah.
blend that no one else has.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you find that helmet. That's how you convict her.
Oh, okay.
So you need the helmet to convict her.
Okay.
There's a third puzzle too. Where is it? Shit. What was the fucking puzzle?
I don't remember.
Ah, man. I know there's a third one. It wasn't hard. It was just annoying.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Shoot. But there's a third puzzle you do. They're all just like you have 5 buttons basically to press. They're skulls, but they're fucking buttons. And you press each button. I will say some of the fucked up stuff in this game is sacrificing all the fucking citizens at the end. You go into the altar where they were sacrificed. There's no bodies, just covered in fucking blood everywhere.
Yeah, the amount of blood in this game was actually kind of surprising, especially like when you find the council members. Like,
There's
oh
just
shit,
blood everywhere, fucking everywhere, and it's weird because they're all flat bodies on the floor. Like it's just so weird. You're just stepping on their bodies as you're going in.
Just, all right, cool. I
Yeah,
guess.
the fact that they sacrifice everyone too at the end of the island is pretty fucked. If there's been 24 iterations, there's about 3,000 people per island.
Yeah.
God damn, that's a lot of fucking people they've killed.
Yeah, just a little bit.
They're just like, we'll get more people. There's always more people.
But yeah, should we go into our last segment? Then?
I'm trying to think of anything else we might want to touch on in here. Blood crystals as the currency was kind of weird. It's the blood that's in the fucking building.
Yeah.
They crystallize it and use it as currency. Hey, here's this guy's blood. I drained it and I made it into a cool thing.
I love that in the trials, like when you start accusing some people, they'll immediately just start calling out.
I
other
know.
things
It's
and
like you
giving
guys
their
are really
testimonies.
shitty at being fucking prisoners, especially the assassins. I'm like, what is wrong with your professional assassins? If I'm going down, witnesses going down. With
Yeah, and I mean, kind of for me, like some of the trial was almost in some ways kind of like Ace Attorney, if you ever played those games.
Yeah.
And I kind of really just enjoyed that. Like I actually kind of enjoyed the trials for this. Like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. One thing you can find in this game too are whiskey bottles.
Yes.
I am so confused what the point in those were.
So I am not entirely sure, but I know like it showed you 2 people talking, which
In a
I'm guessing
bar.
they're other council members that made it to sequence 25.
No, so it's in the future.
In sequence 25.
Yeah, but it's like it seems like it's not just because people are already there. So you're thinking
Yeah.
like, well, it could be happening while this is all happening. But then they're like, at one point they name drop Lady Love Dies as
Well,
good
they're
investigator.
talking about Lady Love Dies a lot. during
Yeah,
it.
so you're just like, so it happened in the future. How the hell am I finding this here? I'm so confused.
I don't know.
It's very, and then it doesn't really reveal who those people are.
No.
But I was like, they should have revealed as one of them as being Isaiah, who is her ex-husband.
Who's ex-husband?
Lady Love Dies.
Oh, I don't know.
If you go into find some stuff, at one point I looked like at a billboard, and it showed your trial with Montserrat. And then she's like,
okay.
back then it was so much simpler. I was married, I was in love. And I'm like, I was married? And
Interesting.
then eventually you talk to Lydia and she asks, like, you want to ask about Isaiah, don't you? And he's like, yeah, where is he? On the next island already. He's dating someone, though.
Oh, so probably it was Isaiah and whoever he's dating then.
No, it was 2 guys, I thought.
Oh, it was a guy and a girl.
Was it a guy and a girl?
Yeah, it was a guy and a girl.
It could have been. And that would have been really interesting if they would have name dropped them because you have their names. But they don't. They're still mystery at the end. I'm like, and I found all the whiskey bottles. I'm like, okay, like, what is the point in these? Like, just to get some extra story that doesn't really play to anything?
I guess so.
Like, I
Or
kind of
maybe
wish...
in the different endings they have different things with it.
Maybe. I
Because
really
I
wish they
did
would have
hear
fleshed
there
it out
are
more.
other endings to this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Maybe I'll go look up all the endings and seeing what happens. Like,
Well, and I was trying to like look up stuff on this. There's not a lot of videos on this game.
No.
There's not a lot of like explanations.
well, it's hard
of
because
this
there's
game.
no like real story. It's a lot
Well,
of just
and this
exploration.
game came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not a very, but and I mean like as much reviews and stuff as are on it. There's not. This isn't a game that a lot of like streamers did. So there's not very many videos you can even find on YouTube.
Well, because
or
I mean,
explanations for
imagine
it, or-
watching 15 hours of this and just getting pure story the entire time, and only getting like what you want because there's no directional story.
Yeah.
Like that would be a hard thing to stream and keep people interested in, especially if you're like, all right, guys, for the next 3 hours, we're gonna be looking for items.
I mean, It's the same thing with some people would like 100% games and stream that the entire time.
Yeah.
And people watch all of that.
True.
Like people will watch pretty much anything if they find it any way entertaining. So.
Yeah. So yeah, the whiskey bottles were kind of. I thought those were a little useless in the story. I kind of wish they had more with that. I wanted more.
Yeah.
I wanted them to be like, we're this person and this person, or like maybe like Lady Love Dies walks into the bar at the end and says, "What are you two doing? We have another matter to attend to."
Or yeah.
And almost
like
make it like an intro either into DLC or into another game.
Yeah.
Like they could have done that, which would have been cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, what else collectibles did you get during it? Was the whiskey bottles? You had to find all the Shinji. Shinji's just a demon that comes and pops up sometimes.
He just pops up randomly, and he's like a weak demon that can't do much except for like physically appear, and he just says random shit.
And you know, like the most random shit. Like,
Yeah.
He never has sometimes he's really insightful, and then other times he's like, "I like your boobs." And you're like,
bye.
Oh. Yeah, like literally nothing.
There was like the blood sacrifice places that you had to give a little bit of blood to, and you got the sigils or whatever.
And the sigils just told stories of the
Yeah.
gods that you worship.
There was finding all the things of the sequences. There was finding all of like the relics.
Yeah.
Finding all of what happened to all the other sequences.
Past islands. I think my favorite thing was meeting the god.
Yeah.
That was fucking sweet.
That was cool.
That was really cool. I was like, there is a god here. Like they made it sound like he was resurrecting, so he wasn't there. But he's like just sitting there in the fucking flesh. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We have a god here? What are we doing with our lives, guys?
Which I was like, oh, that's kind of really interesting. Like, there's a lot of like really interesting things in this that we haven't like even touched on. So like, as much as story as stuff we've given, it's still I think worth the playthrough.
Yeah, I think you guys should definitely play through this.
But I think that's pretty much everything for collectibles and everything.
I think so. So let's move on.
Worth or not?
I think I'm gonna go Worth on this one.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going Worth.
I think the first 2 hours is the hardest part of this game. It's huge. The map is giant when you're first jumping in. It's not big after that. You're like, okay, as soon as you know where everything is, you're fine.
But it takes a little bit of time to explore everything and find out where everything is.
So
and
understand what you're doing.
The map is confusing at first. Once you know where everything is and know how to get to everything, it's super easy to get through.
I will say one of the first things I did, I went up to the blood building, whatever. You can skip that whole part first. And instead, traverse the outside of the island.
Yeah.
Because, once I got to the factory, I was like, okay, this is making more sense.
Yeah. Well, and, I even, went back to the first place you started later on and, explored that island, a lot more, where you first jumped down onto.
Did you find the recording thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that had this death screams.
The death screams that were pointed right at Henry.
I think that was Witness's
Witness.
attempt to get him to go berserk, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting, too, because, that almost seems like it played a crucial role in something, and it really didn't, because it didn't affect anything. It's just something you found that happened to be...
And it's just because of the doctor's inhibitors that were stopping him from actually getting out of that. But, there was a bunch of things like that where... Well, and Henry, the more times you talked to him, he always talked about how he was think annoyed with hearing all the screaming, and he's hearing all these voices and stuff, and which was annoying. When you're trying to I think you're innocent. Let me help you. What's the code to your vault? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you have
fuck away.
I think you have to hang out with him 3 times to get the code.
Oh, I never got the code, so I just said fuck it. I don't care.
Well, how'd you know about the book then?
I knew about the books because I investigated the library.
Oh, so you find the actual book.
Oh, okay.
In the safe.
I saw the ritual stuff in his room, and I investigated the library and found out that the demonology books were checked out.
Yeah.
And that they were checked out by Yuri,
and
that was enough to convict.
Yeah. But you can actually find the book in his room that Yuri checked out, so you have even more proof.
Nice.
Yeah, this game's definitely worth the traveling around is fun once you get used to it. I would recommend getting the powers almost immediately as fast as you fucking can.
I definitely agree with that.
You get the double jump and the what the fuck is it called? The
dash, air
the
dash,
dash
and the
first.
meditate.
I would just get. You don't even need the meditate if you don't want to collect all the items. That's fine. Just get those 2 fucking things because those change the game. Yeah.
Which I didn't even have the double jump, and the dash made it so I could almost get everything anyways.
Once you get to the double jump, you're gonna be like, fucking goddamn it, this is so much easier.
Oh yeah, I bet. But even with that, I used the dash as a double jump because I just look up and then jump and then dash.
Yeah.
And then it would almost be a double jump in itself.
Did you hate the fact that when you jumped and dashed, well, maybe it's just because I had the double jump, but I would jump backwards but want to dash forwards. So if I'm standing on like a line and I want to get up to the next one, but it's right above me, I'd have to jump backwards, then dash forward to get on the line.
I don't think I ever had that problem. I just looked
So-
up and jumped up and dashed.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do this, if you dashed, say, a direction that was away from where you were falling already, you would dash in that direction and then continue falling in the direction you were already falling.
Interesting.
It was so annoying.
Because I always made it onto everything I wanted to.
Yeah, but some things I didn't want to like go around to get back up to them, or spend a blood point to get back up. Like if I
Yeah.
fell down to grab an item or something, and I
Yeah.
wanted to get back to where I was, I would try to jump up. But a lot of them are straight jump ups with something above you that's blocking you, but you can land on the thing above you. But
Weird.
the only way to get up there is to kind of jump back a tiny bit so you can have leverage to get
Yeah.
over it. But you can't do that because you start immediately falling back after you dash.
I guess I don't know.
Because you're falling in the same
Well,
direction you were going
like
to
you
fall
said, I never
anyway.
double jumped, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't know why.
That was a really annoying thing. If you go back in and play the double jump, Steven, you were going to see that and you're going to be like, yeah, this is really fucking annoying. They should just
Yeah.
change this. If I'm dashing in a direction, it should be changing the
Which-
momentum of where I'm going.
I'm a little mad right now. I have bought some of our our next 10 games.
Yeah.
I bought 6 of them on Steam whenever I could find them on
And they
sale
all
or
went
whatever.
on Game Pass.
Every single one has been put on Game Pass now. I was like, fuck!
Just wait.
And I'm like, well, and I didn't know that they were ever going to show up on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And one of them is actually getting taken off Game Pass in the next week. So I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I bought that one at least. But then another one that was a PlayStation exclusive that went on Steam, and I bought it on Steam when it was on sale, and now it's going to be on Game Pass next week.
And we're all going to want to play it on Game Pass to get achievement
Yeah,
points.
exactly.
So.
All of us Xbox gamers, we want the achievements. So,
Yep.
even this, I was like, I had this on Steam, but I want to play it on Xbox.
Yep. Yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
That's
so,
the game.
next week.
That's the midnight something.
Oh, yeah. Next week, we are playing Midnight Fight Express.
Yeah.
This one, I'm really excited for. So, this is actually a kind of a unique game. This game was basically developed by one person.
And then he
This-
had sex with that game.
This took this guy 8 years to make. And
Interesting.
I think once they actually published it, they had a couple more people on top of it. But he created this game entirely by himself.
Nice.
One dude. And it's a 3D brawler.
Yeah, it's really cool. It looks like an overhead brawler.
Yeah,
overhead
it
3D.
is.
Hold on, I want to give one shout out.
Okay.
So the developer of Paradise Killer is Kaizen Gameworks.
Okay.
And the publishers are Fellow Traveler and Leoful, which I don't know anything that they've done. I assume they've done some other games before, but they
Oh,
did a
yeah.
really good job on this game.
Very much so.
So. All right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you
Yes.
next week with Midnight something.
Midnight Fight Express.
So
And
Midnight-
it's on Game Pass if you want to play and listen to our stuff along with us.
Midnight Sex